All right, guys, so we're continuing with elimination here. This is the last we're going to talk about it. We're at the end of the road as far as elimination is concerned. Okay, so the problems today are going to get a little more challenging in the fact that you're not going to see numbers that are the same. Okay, in the problems we did previous, we had X's that matched or we had Y's that matched. We were either able to eliminate right away or we had a situation where we had to change signs. Today, the numbers aren't even the same. So the first thing you're going to look for is you're going to see if you can turn either the X's or the Y's. Okay, you want to look at the smaller X or the smaller Y, and you want to see if you can turn that one into the other one by multiplying. So here's what I mean. If we look at number one, you have a negative 8x on the top, you have a negative 16 on the bottom. The signs we'll worry about later. So you want to ask yourself real quick, and it's not going to take you too long to figure it out, can I turn an 8 into a 16 by multiplying? The answer there should be yes. You can turn an 8 into a 6 by multiplying. We're going to multiply by 2. So I'm going to multiply that 8 by 2. Now, if you remember from the earlier problems that we did, like when we had to change the signs, you can, whatever you do to one thing in an equation, you have to do to the whole thing. So if I multiply that 8 by 2, I got to multiply this by 2, and I got to multiply that by 2. Okay, you're allowed to do whatever you want as long as you do it to the entire equation. So that top equation now is negative 16x minus 6y is equal to 8. The bottom equation we did not change. Negative 16x minus 5y is equal to 12. Okay, the only issue now is that the 16s are the same, but they're both negative. I need one of them to be positive. It doesn't matter which one, but one of them has to be a positive. So let's say I make this a positive, that would make this a positive, and that would make that 12 into a negative. Again, you can do whatever you want to an equation, you just have to do it to the whole equation. Now we can eliminate. The 16s go away. Negative 6y plus 5y is negative 1y is equal to 8. Take away 12. 8 minus 12 is negative 4. If you divide both sides by negative 1, you get y is equal to positive 4. So the second half of my problem is done. Now, when you take that 4 and plug it back in, if you want to plug it into the changed equation right there, you can. Okay. I would always go back to one of the original equations. Okay, just because they're usually going to have smaller numbers. So I'm going to take that 4 and I'm actually going to put it into this equation right here. So I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to replace it for y right there. Okay, so now it's negative 8x minus 3 times 4 is equal to 4. Okay, negative 8x, 3 times 4, I got minus 12 is equal to 4. We add 12 to each side. You get negative 8x is equal to 16. Divide both sides by negative 8, and you get x is equal to negative 2. So your x is negative 2. We already have y is 4, so your final answer is negative 2, comma 4. Okay? Now, when you take a look at number 2, okay, again, you want to look at the x's and the y's and say to yourself, can I turn the smaller x or the smaller y into the other one by multiplying? In number 2, you have a 7 and a 9. You can't turn the 7 into a 9 by multiplying. We have a 4 and a 7. You can't turn a 4 into a 7 by multiplying. This doesn't mean that you can't do the problem. This is a situation where we're actually going to have to multiply both equations. In number 1, we only multiplied and changed one of the equations. In this one, we're going to have to change them both. Now, you can attack it however you want. The 9 and the 7, you can turn into a 63 because 9 times 7 is 63. The 7 and the 4, you can turn into a 28 because 7 times 4 is 28. You can go either way you want. Doesn't matter. I'm going to turn 7y and the 4y into 28y's just because that's a smaller number. And it's going to be a little more manageable to work with. So erase that, clear my slate. So I'm going to multiply this by 4 because I want to make it a 28, which means I multiply that by 4. and that by 4. The bottom equation, I'm going to multiply that 4 by 7, again, because I want it to be a 28. So I'm going to multiply here by 7 and here by 7. So my new equations are, okay, that top equation is now 28x minus 28y is equal to negative 14 times 4 is 56. Again, you can use your calculator. Okay, the bottom equation is now 63x, right? 9 times 7 minus 4 times 7 is 28y is equal to 28 times 7. That's a little bit big. I'm going to go to my online calculator. 28 times 7 equals, okay, I got 196. Okay, so negative 28 times 7 is negative 196. Okay, now I can eliminate. Well, I really can't because, again, the 28s are both negative. No big deal. Make one of them a positive and then change the signs of the other two. So now, okay, I know I'm changing a lot of things here, but that's fine. It's okay. So the negative 28 and the 63, that adds up to, sorry, I made a mistake there, positive. That's going to be positive 35x. Okay, 35x. Okay, the y's eliminate equals negative 196 and 56. That's going to be negative 140. Divide both sides by 35. And you get x is equal to, that's going to come out to be negative 4. Okay, we take that x and we plug it back into an equation. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the top one. So I'm putting it right there. So it's going to be 7 times negative 4, okay, minus 7y is equal to negative 14. 7 times negative 4, that's negative 28, minus 7y is equal to negative 14. Add 28 to each side. Those will cancel out. Add 28 to the other side. This is all just, I'm just solving an equation. 7y is equal to 14. Divide both sides by 7, and we get y is equal to 2. So your final answer here is x is equal to negative 4, y is equal to positive 2. Okay, hopefully you guys can follow this. As always, okay, reach out if you have questions. All right, but we're just adding in another element here through multiplying. Okay, try and multiply only one of the equations if you can. Some of them you're not going to be able to. Okay, look at the numbers. Don't just look at the x's. Look at the x's and the y's. Okay, I would hate to see you guys do more work than you have to. Okay, good luck, guys.